Hello, and welcome to 5 things you need to know about the discussion section in 5 minutes or less. The next video of our manuscript series where we provide tips and tricks for various aspects of the manuscript writing and publishing process for graduate students. In this video, we provide some tips for writing the discussion section of your paper.
The discussion section of a manuscript provides the key takeaways from a study. Readers may jump straight to the discussion section when skimming an article because the discussion ties everything from the paper together. It links the previous literature with the current study, describes what was done and limitations associated with the study, and describes the key findings as they relate to the literature base. The discussion section also provides readers with recommendations for future practice or future research. This requires the authors to synthesize information from throughout their study and others into a succinct and comprehensible section. We recommend more advanced graduate students take on this section of a manuscript as it requires more advanced skills. The discussion is one of the most fruitful sections of a manuscript and therefore also one of the most challenging sections to write. So here are a few tips we have found helpful.
First, as is important with most sections of your manuscript, begin with planning the components of your discussion. Since the discussion synthesizes so much information, it can be helpful to start with drafting a detailed outline. This helps you do the thinking and synthesizing before trying to write complete sentences. The discussion should start with principal findings, then discuss each finding by research question or theme. Provide the limitations, recommendations for practice or future research, and a conclusion. Be concise and avoid discussing results that do not answer your research questions. Refer back to your introduction if you become tangential, and stay focused. By planning the points you want to make before writing, you can write a focused discussion section.
Next, let's discuss flow. If you recall, in our introduction section video, we suggested you funnel your ideas from broad to more specific, starting with the larger impact and then finishing the topics most closely associated with your study. For the discussion section, we suggest the funnel to go in the opposite direction from the study specific to broad. Start with the key findings from your study and then progress to broader impacts of your findings and recommendations for policy, practice, and future research. Your first paragraph should include a clear statement of main findings. Similar to an elevator pitch, what are your results in a nutshell? Then discuss how each finding relates or does not relate to prior research, how you filled a gap, and what gaps are still left to be explored. Remember that the introduction and discussion sections work closely together to shape your paper. They often include similar references and tell a story.
Next, note the discussion is where you document the implications of findings. In other words, this is where your interpretation goes. If you remember in our results section video, we mentioned the results section is where you report the findings without interpretation. Well, the discussion is where you can provide that interpretation. Why are your findings important? What do they mean? Tie your results back to previous research, especially studies you cited in the introduction.
Next, limitations and future directions. Be sure to address shortcomings, but do so in a way that does not take away from the validity and importance of your study. Future directions should include a discussion of what you recommend comes next in terms of research and practice. How should we proceed based on your findings?
Finally, have a strong conclusion and summary. Do not finish your article with limitations. Bring readers back to your findings by writing a strong summarized conclusion. This is typically one of the only things your readers will read, so make it good.
Thank you for tuning in to 5 things you need to know about the discussion section in 5 minutes or less. Please subscribe and be on the lookout for our next video, 5 things you need to know about writing a cover letter for your manuscript submission. We look forward to engaging with you and serving as a resource for your introductory research needs. Remember to check out our website and social media. Take care.